Hey doing, boss buddies. Now on my Instagram I often get asked about sort of beast mode fragrances or fragrances that are great with longevity or great with strength, so I thought I'd throw together a quick video to sort of go through some of my favourites or some of the ones that I've experienced so far in my journey of fragrances as the top ones that I pick out for, let's just call them beast mode fragrances. Back in a second. Hey boss buddies, so welcome to my Beast Mode Fragrances video. Now this is going to be based on purely, out of all the fragrances that I've experienced so far. I'm still fairly young in my adventures, sort of discovering all these different fragrances. I have had a chance to smell and test out a lot of fragrances, as you would have seen over the last couple of months as well. But I wanted to go through what I thought were my best ones when it comes to sort of pure longevity and pure strength. Obviously a lot of fragrances do have great longevity, but they tend to sort of die down throughout the day. So I wanted to pick out the ones because, like I said on the intro, on Instagram, I get asked a lot about sort of what would be my top 2, top 3 fragrances when it comes to beast mode projection and longevity. So, there's plenty of them out there that are going to sort of last and last and last, but they don't always have that strength. So I've narrowed it down to my top 5. Here's my top 5. So I'm going to start off with probably the one that's the weakest first. This one, Santal 33. This one really is beast mode from, Santal 33 by Labo. This one really is beast mode for, projection, especially for that first hour to 2 hours. It's still a very strong fragrance after that. It does come down to sort of around 2 to 3 feet projection. It's pretty huge though when you first spray this one. This one here, this one's a beautiful sort of sandalwood, but like I've said in previous videos, it's a nice dirty sandalwood, something that I quite like. I quite like sort of dirty, sort of gritty fragrances. And something I like about this the sandalwood is definitely that sort of dirty vibe to it. It's got like that kind of sort of roughed up leathery vibe to it, which I really enjoy with this fragrance. This one as well, like I say, with the longevity, and it stays strong as well, but the longevity just goes on and on. This is one that I can go to bed in and wake up and I still smell like like I just sprayed it on a few hours ago when I wake up in the morning. So this is definitely sort of up there with some of the best beast modes that I've tried. Now moving on to my number 2, I'm going to go with Baccarat. This one's the EDP version, the Eau de Parfum. Now the Baccarat 540, Baccarat Rouge 540. This one here is very big. Out of the 2 smells, I do actually prefer the X-Ray, and the X-Ray is the one that I would go for. But when it comes to pure longevity and strength, this is definitely one that you want to have in your wardrobe. This one's very different to the rest of the scents that I've got here. Most of them are going to be sort of woody, smoky scents. This one's very sweet. It's I'd say it's quite a clean, candy-like fragrance, but it is absolutely crazy when it comes to its longevity, and it's got big projection as well. It's not huge projection, but this is one that no matter what you touch with your face or anything like that, anywhere you got this fragrance on, it's going to smell of it, and it will smell of it quite strongly. This one I was actually wearing about 3 or 4 days ago, and my wife to me last night, she said, there's one of your colognes that's on the bed sheets. I don't know which one it is, but it smells absolutely delicious. So we went through the different ones that I had been wearing throughout the week, and this was the one that she picked out. She said, this is the one, and it wasn't even just sort of a maybe, it was this is the one. So this one here, and I've heard many people boast about the projection of this one, but yeah, the longevity, when I wore this one a couple of weeks ago when I was in Miami, and the shirt that I wore that night, I put it in my suitcase. I think I wore it on one of my first nights in Miami. So I'd been in there, like my shirt had been in there the whole week, and when I pulled it out, it was like I literally just sprayed the perfume on it. So this is definitely a long-lasting, big projection fragrance. This is also an absolute compliment getter as well. Women really do go crazy for this one, and this is a pure unisex fragrance as well. I mean, a lot of women will wear this one, but I know a lot of guys that do really enjoy this one. I'm one of those as well. For me though, I'm not so big about there's something in this one that I don't quite like. It's still beautiful fragrance, but to me the extrait is absolute perfection. It is a little bit softer in its projection. It's still got great longevity, but like I say, it's to me it's a 10 out of 10 fragrance. It's missing the one note that just disagrees with me a tiny bit in the EDP version. But I mean, that's my personal preference. I've got plenty of other big sort of louder fragrances as well. So yeah, but if you're looking for longevity and you're looking for beast mode projection, the Baccarat Rouge 540 EDP is my number 4. Right, so getting into my top 3. Now I do apologise because a couple of these, or some of these fragrances you would have seen in one of my other videos, my top 4 fragrances. That's just purely by coincidence. I'm very much into strong fragrances. I think one of the reasons behind that is maybe because I'm a bodybuilder or something like that, and I just like to be strong, and I like my fragrances to be the same. So maybe that's one thing behind it. Also as well, I think when I was growing up, my father wore a lot of stronger fragrances as well, and I think I've maybe developed my nose from that, and that's what I've become used to. So I mean, the one thing that I definitely look for as well when it comes to sort of value for money in fragrances, and the type of fragrances I love, the niche ones and like the higher price ones, longevity and projection play a big part of that in when I'm going to buy something, which is why I do a lot of my reviews. I want people to know if I think it's not worth the money. If you're not getting the projection, you're not getting longevity, and you're paying $200 for a fragrance, to me that's really not worth it. So without further ado, let's move into my top 3. Now, at the weakest one, I'm going to go in number 3, the weakest one out of the top 3 that I've picked. Bearing in mind, this is absolute beast mode. This is crazy beast mode, Halfeti by Penhaligons. Now, this is one, I mean, I can be on the other side of the street, and I've been stopped by somebody asking what I was wearing. This one really does go a long way. This one's normally blasting out the Penhaligons boutiques as well. I know definitely in London, and like I say, when they sort of bring it out of it's sort of pumped out of a vaporizer or something like, and you can smell it all the way down Regent Street coming from their vaporizer and coming from their boutique. Now it's pretty much the same. I mean, one thing that I didn't like when I first experienced Penhaligons was I didn't like how weak their scents were and how much they didn't last. When I was in their boutique though in San Francisco and I discovered this one, I just absolutely fell in love with it. It's a very unique fragrance. It's quite smoky, it's got some incense in there, it's quite spicy and herby. It's very different, and it's, like I say, it's a very strong fragrance. The longevity on this one is absolutely crazy, and you get the projection with it as well. It's a very strong fragrance. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely up there in sort of my favourite fragrances, and it makes it onto a lot of my lists of my top 5s or top 6, top 7s, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, this is always going to be on there, and so's the next one I'm actually going to pull out. Now the next one, if you're looking for something that is absolutely ridiculous when it comes to longevity and when it comes to projection, Amouage Interlude is definitely one to go for. I'd say out of all of these, this is probably more of an evening fragrance. I mean, I do love to wear this in the summer heat, when in the all year round heat here in Grand Cayman, because I just love the smell of this one so much. Like the incense and the smokiness, it smells like a very sexy sort of grill crossed with a bonfire. I mean, it's insanely sexy to me. This is the one my wife asked me to wear for our wedding as well. Now this one, no matter when I wear it, if I'm in my office at work, my boss will always walk past and she will stop and ask me if I'm wearing that one again, and she always asks me what it's called because she wants to buy it for her husband. But yeah, this one, I mean, I've had a couple of people stop me on the streets with this one as well, not because of their being close to me or anything like that, but because it has got a huge projection, and the longevity with this one is crazy. I mean, these two here, in fact, and my number 1, all 3 of these have the same effect. Like, you can wear these all day and you can wear them all night as well. When you wake up the next morning and you shower, you can still smell them. Until you put something else on that smells, you will still be able to smell these on your skin. no matter how sort of hard you scrub your neck or anything like that. So I mean, the oils in these are of such high quality, and they definitely do last. So I mean, yeah, I mean, my number 2 would definitely have to be Interlude. I mean, to be honest, all 3 of my top 3 are very, very close, and I mean, I'd say they're definitely sort of on the same level when it comes to projection and longevity. So that's my top 4. Sorry, that's my top 5 so far. Now moving into my number 1. This is one that many of you know if you watch my videos. It's not a huge favourite of mine. However, you cannot deny that this one is a absolute beast mode when it does come to longevity and when it does come to projection. And my number 1 is Creed Aventus. Now this is one that I think it's a little bit overdone now, especially for those sort of that are new to niche or anything like that. This is one of the first ones that they find out about. But I mean, there's no denying that. I mean, this one, it's not so much something I wear anymore. I do wear it every now and then. I'd say probably less than once a year though when it does come to it, because I've got so many other sort of fragrances that I prefer out there. And I mean, where I live here in Grand Cayman as well, this one's a very, very sort of worn fragrance. There's a lot of guys out there wearing this one, and I smell it everywhere I go here. So I mean, this one to me is not unique here anymore. Maybe in certain parts of the world you're going to find that not everybody knows what this is, but I mean, when I had a weekend in South Beach in Miami a couple of years ago, and even the valet knew what I was wearing. There's a couple of girls in the pool that knew what I was wearing. That's when I decided it was time to sort of make a change. I'd already got Interlude by that point as well, and I was really starting to enjoy sort of all the different other fragrances that were out there. So I mean, I know this one's a massive compliment getter. I mean, it's known as the king of compliments. To me, compliments aren't a big thing though. I mean, if you're into your compliments, then definitely sort of please the masses and go for Aventus. For me, I love to enjoy sort of unique fragrances, stuff that not everybody's wearing. I like people to ask me what I'm wearing because it's a little bit different. And I mean, that's what happens when I wear Halfeti or when I wear Interlude, and they're scents that I enjoy wearing because, like I say, I like to be a little bit different. I like to be a bit more unique, and I like strong fragrances. So I mean, a lot of these, I mean, you're looking at sort of $200, $300 fragrances. So I want to know that I'm going to get that quality, which is why I test so many of them out, and which is why I'll be doing this probably again in about 6 months once I've tried out a whole other bunch of fragrances. But I hope you enjoyed the video on my Beast Mode fragrances. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'd love to hear any other recommendations. I know there's a couple out there that I've not been able to smell yet. I know Complex by Bodicea is supposed to be very, very strong, and also More Than Words by Zerhoff. So I mean, those I've not been able to smell yet, but I'd love to be able to, and I'd love to hear your recommendations as well. So please like, comment and subscribe below, because I'd love to hear your comments on your Beast Mode fragrances, because I'm always looking to experience, I'm always looking to learn from you guys as well. So please send me your recommendations. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well. You can find me at Luxury Fragrance Boss. That way you can keep up to date with everything that I'm wearing, everything that I've got going on and coming up on my YouTube channel. Other than that, stay smelling fantastic, keep it Beast Mode, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Thank you very much for watching.